You were meant to see this, the place you're moving to eyes, being shown to you right now. My beloved. Pause for a moment, breathe. Feel how your heart slowed the instant these words found you. This is not coincidence, not wandering curiosity, not chance. You are meant to arrive here now, at this exact breath of time. Something gentle yet immense has been guiding you, step by step, toward this message. You may not have known what you were searching for, but your soul did, and it led you here because you are seen, because you are being prepared, because the place you are moving toward is already reaching out to you. Precious soul, nothing about your life is random. The delays, the sudden thoughts, the dreams that linger longer than others, the feeling that you are standing on the edge of something new, these are all signals of arrival. You are not behind, you are not lost. You are exactly where you must be for what is about to unfold. Stay with this message. Let it settle into you, because it has been waiting for you longer than you realize. My dear one, there have been whispers long before this moment. Soft, patient signals woven into your days and nights. You felt them when the room was full, yet something inside you felt empty. You noticed them when familiar routines suddenly felt heavy, as if your spirit were carrying a quiet question it could no longer ignore. These were not signs of failure or restlessness. They were gentle alerts, invitations asking you to look within and listen more closely. You may have sensed it as a subtle tightening in your chest, a fleeting sadness without a clear reason, or a restlessness that appeared even when life seemed fine. Perhaps you told yourself you were just tired, just overthinking, just passing through a phase. But precious soul, intuition rarely shouts. It speaks in hushes, in repeated impressions, in patterns that return until they are acknowledged. And yours has been speaking with great patience. There were moments when your attention drifted to places you had never considered before. Images, thoughts, or longings that seemed to arrive uninvited. You wondered why certain landscapes, ideas, or futures pulled at you with quiet insistence. You may have dismissed them as fantasy, yet they lingered, returning in dreams or daydreams, pressing gently against your awareness. This was not coincidence. It was recognition. Something in you remembered what your mind had not yet accepted. You have also felt the warning in what no longer nourishes you. Conversations that once felt alive now feel repetitive. Environments that once felt secure now feel limiting. You stayed not because it fulfilled you, but because it was known. And still, your inner world kept shifting, growing uncomfortable with what no longer matched your frequency. This discomfort was not meant to punish you. It was meant to protect you from staying too long in a place your soul had outgrown. Listen closely, beloved. The unease you felt was never about fear of the unknown. It was about resistance to remaining where growth had ended. You were being nudged, not pushed, guided, not rushed. Every time you ignored the signal, it softened and returned in another form. A chance conversation, a sudden longing, a quiet inner voice saying, "There is more for you than this." You may have noticed your sleep change, your dreams becoming vivid or symbolic. Dreams are where the soul speaks freely, unburdened by logic. They show you truths without explanation, feelings without language. If you saw yourself walking, leaving, searching, or standing on thresholds, know that this was preparation. Your inner world was rehearsing what your outer life is now ready to reflect. Something important is shifting, my dear one. Not abruptly, not violently, but deliberately. Old certainties are loosening their grip. Questions are replacing assumptions. And with every small inner adjustment, you are being guided toward alignment. You were never meant to stay confused forever. Clarity always follows awareness. Do not ignore this gentle unrest. It is sacred. It is the sign that you are alive to your own becoming. Many live entire lifetimes without listening to these inner stirrings. You are different. You noticed. You paused. You felt the pull even when you could not name it. That alone tells a story of readiness. There were also moments of sudden calm, weren't there? Brief flashes where imagining change brought peace instead of anxiety, where the idea of moving, shifting, or beginning again felt strangely right. Those moments were truth surfacing. Fear may have followed quickly after, but fear always arrives late, trying to reclaim control. Trust the first feeling. It came from a deeper place. Precious soul, your inner signs are not asking you to panic. They are asking you to pay attention. They are saying that the life you are stepping into requires a different setting, a different energy, a different space to breathe and expand. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are awakening. Hold this gently. Sit with it without judgment. Let the signs speak without interruption. You do not need all the answers yet. Awareness is enough for now. The path will reveal itself as you honor what you already feel. Stay with this message. Your soul has been preparing you for this recognition, and now that you see it, nothing will ever feel quite the same again. My beloved, while you were living your ordinary days, waking, working, resting, wondering, something extraordinary was quietly unfolding around you. Not in loud miracles or sudden upheavals, but in careful, unseen movements that required patience and trust. Destiny does not announce itself with urgency, it works with precision. And it has been working for you all along. There were moments when you felt delayed, when progress seemed slow or doors remained stubbornly closed. You questioned why things were not moving faster, why plans dissolved at the last moment, why certainty kept slipping just out of reach. But precious soul, those pauses were not mistakes, they were protection. You were being held back from paths that would have drained you, from places that would have asked you to shrink rather than expand. What felt like waiting was actually alignment in motion. Every unanswered hope, every postponed step, was shaping you into someone who could fully receive what is coming. You were being prepared internally, before the external shift could occur. Strength was forming in quiet places. Wisdom was being layered into your spirit through experience. You were learning discernment, resilience, self-trust, qualities that the next chapter of your life will require. Nothing was wasted. Not one moment of confusion, not one tear of uncertainty. Behind the scenes, connections were rearranging. Circumstances were subtly shifting. Opportunities you have not yet seen were being positioned at the right time, in the right form. Even people who drifted away had a role to play, not as losses, but as space makers. Their departure cleared room for encounters that will recognize you more fully, meet you more honestly, and walk beside you with shared purpose. My dear one, you may have whispered your hopes in moments of exhaustion, or carried them silently in your heart. Those longings were heard, not as demands, but as signals of truth. Destiny listens to the quiet prayers spoken without words, the ones felt deeply but rarely voiced. It responds not by rushing, but by arranging every detail so that when the moment arrives, it arrives whole. You were redirected more times than you realize. A plan changed. A route closed. A certainty dissolved. Each redirection felt disappointing in the moment, yet each one gently nudged you closer to where you truly belong. Had things unfolded the way you once wanted, you might have arrived too early, too unprepared, or too burdened to recognize the blessing waiting for you. Timing is not punishment, it is wisdom. Something important is nearing now because you are ready to see it. The confusion you felt before was not ignorance, it was incubation. Seeds grow in darkness, before they ever reach the light. And you, precious soul, have been growing, quietly, steadily, faithfully. Even when you doubted yourself, even when you felt stuck, even when you wondered if anything was actually happening. Receive this truth gently. Your movement forward does not begin when you change locations. It began when you changed internally. When you started asking deeper questions. When you refused to silence your intuition. When you chose honesty over comfort. Those were the true turning gears of destiny. What is approaching now carries purpose, not chaos. It will not arrive to overwhelm you, but to expand you. You will recognize it by the calm beneath the uncertainty, by the sense of rightness even when details remain unclear. Destiny does not force, it invites. And you are being invited to step into a space that reflects who you have become, not who you used to be. Trust that what is unfolding has intelligence behind it. Trust that the pauses had meaning. Trust that the delays were shaping you for something that requires your full presence and strength. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely on time for the life that is calling you forward now. Hold this in your heart, my beloved. The hidden movement is becoming visible. What was once only felt will soon be seen, and when it reveals itself, you will understand why everything happened exactly the way it did. My beloved, while you were living your ordinary days, waking, working, resting, wondering, something extraordinary was quietly unfolding around you, not in loud miracles or sudden upheavals, but in careful, unseen movements that required patience and trust. Destiny does not announce itself by urgency. It works with precision. And it has been working for you all along. There were moments when you felt delayed, when progress seemed slow or doors remained stubbornly closed. You questioned why things were not moving faster, why plans dissolved at the last moment, why certainty kept slipping just out of reach. But precious soul, those pauses were not mistakes. They were protection. You were being held back from paths that would have drained you, from places that would have asked you to shrink rather than expand. What felt like waiting was actually alignment in motion. Every unanswered hope, every postponed step, was shaping you into someone who could fully receive what is coming. You were being prepared internally before the external shift could occur. Strength was forming in quiet places. Wisdom was being layered into your spirit through experience. You were learning discernment, resilience, self-trust, qualities that the next chapter of your life will require. Nothing was wasted. Not one moment of confusion, not one tear of uncertainty. Behind the scenes, connections were rearranging. Circumstances were subtly shifting. Opportunities you have not yet seen were being positioned at the right time, in the right form. Even people who drifted away had a role to play, not as losses, but as space makers. Their departure cleared room for encounters that will recognize you more fully, meet you more honestly, and walk beside you with shared purpose. My dear one, you may have whispered your hopes in moments of exhaustion, or carried them silently in your heart. Those longings were heard, not as demands, but as signals of truth. Destiny listens to the quiet prayers spoken outwards, the ones felt deeply but rarely voiced. It responds not by rushing but by arranging every detail so that when the moment arrives, it arrives whole, You were redirected more times than you realize. A plan changed, a route closed, a certainty dissolved. Each redirection felt disappointing in the moment, yet each one gently nudged you closer to where you truly belong. Had things unfolded the way you once wanted, you might have arrived too early, too unprepared, or too burdened to recognize the blessing waiting for you. Timing is not punishment, it is wisdom. Something important is nearing now because you are ready to see it. The confusion you felt before was not ignorance, it was incubation. Seeds grow in darkness before they ever reach the light. And you, precious soul, have been growing. Quietly, steadily, faithfully. Even when you doubted yourself. Even when you felt stuck. Even when you wondered if anything was actually happening. Receive this truth gently. Your movement forward does not begin when you change locations. It began when you changed internally. When you started asking deeper questions. When you refused to silence your intuition. When you chose honesty over comfort. Those were the true turning gears of destiny. What is approaching now carries purpose, not chaos. It will not arrive to overwhelm you, but to expand you. You will recognize it by the calm beneath the uncertainty, by the sense of rightness, even when details remain unclear. Destiny does not force, it invites. And you are being invited to step into a space that reflects who you have become, not who you used to be. Trust that what is unfolding has intelligence behind it. Trust that the pause had meaning. Trust that the delays were shaping you for something that requires your full presence and strength. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely on time for the life that is calling you forward now. Hold this in your heart, my beloved. The hidden movement is becoming visible. What was once only felt will soon be seen. And when it reveals itself, you will understand why everything happened exactly the way it did. My precious soul, this is the moment where everything grows quiet inside you, not because nothing is happening, but because something important is asking for your attention. You are standing at a turning point, even if the world around you looks the same as it did yesterday. Some thresholds do not announce themselves with noise. They reveal themselves through feeling, through that deep inner pause where your spirit waits for you to decide. You have reached a place where remaining the same will cost you more than changing ever could. And yet the choice before you is gentle, not forceful. You are not being pushed, you are being invited. One path asks you to stay where you are, to keep what is familiar, predictable, and known. It promises comfort, routine, and the safety of what you already understand. The other path asks you to trust what you feel more than what you can prove. It asks you to grow beyond the edges of your current life. Fear may rise here, my dear one, and that is natural. Fear always appears at the doorway of transformation. It will whisper that you might fail, that you might regret leaving, that you might lose something important. But listen closely. Fear speaks in imagined futures, while truth speaks in present calm. When you imagine staying, does your spirit feel lighter, or does it feel smaller? When you imagine moving forward, does something in you quietly exhale, even amid uncertainty? This is not a test of bravery, it is a recognition of readiness. You are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to honor what you already know. You have gathered enough experience, enough inner wisdom, enough clarity to sense when a chapter has reached its final page. Staying longer will not bring new answers. It will only repeat old questions. There is also urgency here, but not the kind that panics. It is the urgency of alignment. When the moment arrives and you hesitate too long, the path does not disappear, but it becomes heavier. Doubt grows louder, comfort becomes stickier, and what once felt like a gentle invitation can start to feel like restlessness. This is not punishment, it is consequence. Growth delayed does not vanish, it simply waits, carrying the weight of unfinished truth. You may wonder if choosing differently will disappoint others, disrupt expectations, or require explanations you do not yet have. But beloved, your life is not meant to be a performance for understanding. Some choices are meant to be felt, not justified. Those who are meant to walk with you will recognize the light returning to your eyes. Those who cannot will fade naturally, without cruelty, without conflict. This turning point is not about abandoning everything you've built. It is about carrying forward what is essential and releasing what has become excess. You are not erasing your past. You are honoring it by allowing it to lead you somewhere new. Every step you have taken until now has brought you to the decision. Nothing has been wasted. Faith, my dear one, is not certainty about outcomes. It is trust in direction. You do not need to see the entire path to take the next step. You only need to listen to the quiet truth rising in you now. That truth does not shout. It does not rush you. It simply waits, steady and patient, asking whether you will choose expansion over familiarity. Know this: choosing growth does not mean life will suddenly become easy. It means it will become honest. It means your surroundings will begin to match your inner world. It means you will no longer have to dim parts of yourself to fit where you are. That alone is worth the courage it requires. Stand here for a moment longer, precious soul. Feel the weight of this choice, not as burden, but as power. You are not helpless in this moment. You are sovereign. Your decision carries creative force, and whichever step you take next will shape not only where you go, but who you become. Do not rush. Do not retreat. Simply choose with awareness. When you move from truth rather than fear, the path will meet you halfway, and once you step forward, you will feel it. That quiet confirmation, that deep inner knowing that says, "This is the way." My beloved, before you can fully arrive where you are going, something must gently loosen its hold on you. Not because it is wrong, not because it failed you, but because it has completed its purpose in your life. Every season serves its role, and when its work is done, holding on becomes heavier than letting go. What you are being asked to release now is not punishment, it is preparation. You may feel this release happening already. Old habits no longer bring comfort. Old roles feel tight around your spirit. Even the version of yourself you once needed to survive no longer fits who you are becoming. This can feel confusing, even painful, because familiarity creates attachment. But precious soul, growth always asks for space. Nothing new can enter hands that are already full. There are identities you wore because they once protected you. You learned to be strong, agreeable, quiet, resilient, accommodating. Whatever was required at the time. Honor that version of yourself, thank it. But know this: you are not meant to live forever in survival mode. What once kept you safe may now be keeping you small. Releasing it does not erase your past, it blesses it, and allows you to move forward unburdened. Some relationships too are loosening, not in anger, not in betrayal, but in truth. You may notice distance forming naturally, conversations thinning, connection changing shape. This is not failure, this is alignment. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some were meant to meet you where you were, teach you something vital, and then gently step aside. Let this happen without resentment. Let it happen with grace. You are also being invited to release certain beliefs, quiet ones you may not even realize you carry. Beliefs about what you deserve, about how much ease is allowed in your life, about how far you are permitted to go. These beliefs formed early, often unconsciously, and they shaped your choices. But now they are being questioned because they no longer reflect your truth. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to choose differently. You are allowed to outgrow the limits you once accepted. This release may feel like emptiness at first. Silence where noise once lived. Stillness where busyness once distracted you. Do not rush to fill it. Emptiness is sacred ground. It is where clarity forms. It is where the new begins to breathe. What feels like loss is actually clearing. What feels like absence is invitation. My dear one, nothing that is truly meant for you will require you to cling. What belongs with you will move with you. What must be forced was never meant to stay. Trust the wisdom of what is falling away naturally. You are not losing stability. You are shedding weight so you can move freely. This process asks for honesty. It asks you to admit what no longer feels aligned, even if it once mattered deeply. It asks you to stop romanticizing what has already completed its cycle. Staying attached to the past out of loyalty will not protect you. It will delay you. And you are ready now to step forward, lighter, clearer, more open. As you release, you may feel vulnerable. That is not weakness, it is openness. It means you are no longer armored against life. It means you are available for something more fitting, more nourishing, more true. The space you are creating will not remain empty for long. It is being prepared with intention. Hold this gently, precious soul. Let go without rushing. Release without resentment. Trust without needing immediate proof. What you are making room for is already moving toward you, and when it arrives, you will be grateful that you did not carry the weight of what was never meant to come with you. Breathe into this letting go. It is not the end of anything essential. It is the beginning of something truer. My precious soul, if at any point you have felt alone in this process, let that belief soften now. You have never been walking without guidance. Even in moments of confusion, even in seasons of silence, you have been held within a greater care than you could see. Protection does not always appear as comfort. Sometimes it appears as restraint, as redirection, as a quiet hand preventing you from stepping where harm waits unseen. You are guided in ways that feel ordinary on the surface but sacred underneath, a thought that stops you just in time, a feeling that nudges you to pause, a sudden clarity that arrives when you finally stop forcing answers. These are not accidents of the mind, they are the language of inner wisdom, speaking in the tone you are most able to hear. There have been moments when you sensed a calm settle over you without explanation, even when circumstances remained uncertain. That calm was not denial, it was reassurance. It was a reminder that not everything must be controlled for everything to be cared for. You are allowed to rest inside the unknown when you trust that you are being guided through it. My beloved, guidance rarely removes all doubt. Instead, it offers enough light for the next step. You are not meant to see the entire path at once, because seeing everything would overwhelm the tenderness of your becoming. Step by step, sign by sign, your way forward is revealed in rhythm with your readiness. This is not limitation, it is kindness. Protection has also shown itself through what did not happen, the paths you almost took, the choices you were tempted by but ultimately spared from, the situations that seemed promising but dissolved before they could entangle you. At the time these moments may have felt disappointing. Now you can begin to see them as care. You were being guided away from what would have asked too much of you. Listen gently to your intuition now. It does not demand attention, it invites it. It speaks through resonance, not urgency. When something aligns with your path, you feel expansion, even if fear is present. When something is not meant for you, you feel contraction, even if logic insists otherwise. Your body, your breath, your inner stillness, all of these are instruments of guidance. You can trust them more than you think. You are also protected through timing. Things arrive when you are ready to receive them, not when impatience demands them. If something has not yet unfolded, it is not because you are unworthy, it is because preparation is still completing itself, within you or around you. Trust that delay is not neglect, it is precision. There may be days ahead when doubt resurfaces, when you wonder if you are imagining this guidance, if you are misreading signs, if you are walking alone after all. When that happens, return to what feels steady inside you. Return to breath. Return to stillness. Guidance becomes clearest when the noise quiets. You do not need to chase signs, they appear when you are present. My dear one, you are not required to be fearless. You are only invited to be receptive. Even trembling steps are still steps forward when taken in truth. You will not be abandoned mid-journey. The support that has carried you this far will continue to meet you as you move. Hold this reassurance close. You are watched over with care, guided with patience, and protected with wisdom. Nothing that truly belongs to you will miss you. Nothing to would harm you will be allowed to stay disguised forever. Trust the guidance that has brought you here. It has not failed you yet. Stay with this knowing. Let it settle into your bones. When uncertainty rises, let reassurance answer it gently. You are safe to continue. You are guided to proceed. And you are never walking without a light, even when the path feels dim. Part 7. Empowerment and Identity Awakening. My beloved, this is the moment your spirit has been quietly preparing for, the moment you remember who you are beneath all the roles you have played, beneath all the expectations you carried, beneath all the versions of yourself that were shaped by survival rather than truth. You are not becoming someone new. You are awakening to who you have always been. There is a strength within you that did not come from ease. It was forged in endurance, refined through patience, and tempered by compassion. You have walked through uncertainty and still kept your heart open. You have faced moments where giving up would have been understandable, yet you chose to continue. That choice, repeated again and again, has built something unshakable inside you. You may not always see it, but it is there. Steady, capable, ready. You are never weak for feeling deeply. You are never lost for questioning your path. Those qualities are not flaws, they are signals of depth. A shallow life does not ask difficult questions. A dormant spirit does not ache for meaning. The very restlessness you felt was proof of your potential pressing outward, asking to be lived rather than contained. Now, as you stand on the edge of change, you are being asked to step into your identity with intention, not the identity others projected onto you, not the one that kept peace at the cost of truth, but the one that aligns with your inner knowing. This identity does not need approval. It does not need permission, it simply needs acknowledgement. Confidence, my dear one, is not loud certainty. It is quiet alignment. It is the feeling of standing in your own life without apology. As you move forward, you will notice a subtle shift in how you carry yourself. Your voice will steady, your boundaries will clarify, your decisions will feel less like negotiations and more like declarations of self-respect. You are allowed to take up space, you are allowed to want fulfillment, not just stability. You are allowed to choose environments that nourish rather than drain you. These truths may feel unfamiliar if you have spent a long time minimizing yourself to maintain harmony. But harmony that requires self-erasure is not peace. It is postponement. Your purpose is not something you must chase frantically. It unfolds naturally when you live in alignment. Every time you choose honesty over comfort, courage over fear, intuition over doubt, you step closer to it. Purpose is not a destination. It is a way of moving through life that feels true. You may still carry scars from moments when you doubted yourself, when you trusted the wrong voices, when you stayed too long or left too soon. These scars do not disqualify you. They qualify you. They are evidence of lived experience, of lessons integrated, of wisdom earned. You are not behind because of them. You are prepared. As this awakening continues, you may notice old fears losing their grip. They may still appear, but they no longer command you. You recognize them now as echoes of a past self trying to keep you safe. Thank them, and then choose differently. You are no longer navigating the world from the same place. You are standing taller, seeing farther, feeling deeper. My precious soul, you were never meant to live a small life. You are meant to grow into yourself fully, to express what is unique in you, to walk a path that feels alive beneath your feet. The place you are moving toward, internally and externally, will reflect this truth. It will meet you at your level of becoming, not at the level of your past limitations. Receive this empowerment gently. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to rush your growth. Simply allow yourself to be who you are, without shrinking, without hesitation. The world responds differently when you show up whole. Hold this in your heart: you are capable, you are worthy, and you are ready. Not someday, now. The awakening has already begun, and you are stepping into it with grace, strength, and quiet certainty. My beloved, now let everything grow still within you. Let the rushing thoughts soften. Let the weight you have been carrying ease, even if only for this moment. You have listened with an open heart, and that alone is an act of courage. This message came to you not to demand anything, but to remind you of what you already know deep inside. You are not wandering. You are arriving. Breathe gently, precious soul. Feel how calm settles when you stop resisting what is unfolding. The path ahead does not require force. It responds to trust. Each step you take with sincerity will be met with support you may not immediately recognize, but you will feel it, in quiet confirmation, in steady resolve, in the peace that follows honest choices. You do not need to have everything figured out to move forward. Clarity often comes after commitment, not before. When you choose to trust, the way reveals itself. When you choose to act from truth, the ground becomes firm beneath you. Let this reassure you now. You will not be asked to walk farther than your strength allows. Each day will provide what that day requires. Hold faith, not as blind belief, but as gentle confidence in the unseen order of things. There is intelligence moving through your life, shaping circumstances with care. Even when you do not understand the reason for a turn, you can trust that it carries meaning. Nothing is wasted, nothing is careless. Everything is participating in your becoming. My dear one, allow yourself to feel hope without guarding it. You have learned how to protect yourself by expecting less. Now you are being invited to open again, not recklessly but willingly. Hope is not naivety. It is resilience choosing to believe in goodness again. It is strength softened by trust. As you continue forward, let courage be quiet and consistent. You do not need grand gestures to honor this moment. Small, honest steps are enough. A decision made with integrity, a boundary honored, a truth spoken kindly. These are the commitments that change a life from the inside out. You are safe to trust your timing. You are safe to follow what feels right, even if it does not make sense to others. You are safe to release what no longer aligns, knowing that space will be filled with something more fitting. The place you are moving toward will meet you with familiarity, not because you have been there before, but because it matches who you are now. Let this message stay with you beyond these words. Return to it in moments of doubt. Carry it in your heart when fear tries to speak louder than truth. Remember how it felt to be seen, to be addressed directly, to be reminded of your worth. That feeling is not temporary, it is recognition. My beloved, may peace walk with you where uncertainty once lived. May clarity rise gently where confusion lingered. May trust grow quietly with every step you take. You are held in care, guided with patience, and surrounded by support beyond what you can perceive. Commit now, not with pressure, but with love, to honoring your inner knowing. Commit to choosing growth when it calls. Commit to walking forward even when the path is still forming. This commitment does not bind you, it frees you. Go gently. Move forward with grace. The way is opening because you are ready. You are chosen, not above others, but for your own life. And as you continue, know this with certainty. You are not alone, you are not late, and you are exactly where you are meant to be.